You're tired of hustling in your business and feeling like you're always on the go and running around and doing everything without help? Are you tired of not growing in your business in a way that will take you to a next level? Are you marketing to the small fish in the pond and not able to market to the people that will really make a difference in your business? I'm going to give you the marketing secrets from a psychological and analytical standpoint that's going to help you grow your business and expand at a faster rate. Now, before you watch this video, make sure that you're ready. Make sure that you're at a point to where you actually want to grow, and you have to be spiritually ready first. And that's what I touched on in my first video. First, your mind has to be in a position for you to be ready to grow, and then everything else will align for you to be in a position to where you are ready to grow. Okay, let's get into it. Tell me what's stopping you from being seen in your business. Matter of fact, tell yourself what's stopping you from being seen in your business. Because the longer that you continue to go without marketing yourself, without doing the research on how you want your structure to be, the longer it's going to take you to achieve the height that you want to achieve in your business. Now, everybody enjoys having clientele. Everybody enjoys being able to keep traction, but what's really important is exponential growth. We can grow linear, and it's an amazing thing when you can retain customers and clients, but when you want to go to the next level, you have to make sure your marketing is at the next level. First, you have to be consistent. When it comes to your spiritual journey, that aligns with your business. Everything that you do with yourself and how you grow yourself also aligns with your business. So ask yourself, do you really want to go to the next level? Are you ready for that and what that comes with? Or do you want to continue to be, grateful for where you are and stay where you are, but you'll never get to grow and never get to experience the things that are out there for you if you decide to take the next step? When you're marketing your business, you have to think, who are you marketing to? Are you ready to market to the big dogs, or do you want to just continue marketing to people that will just keep your business afloat, or do you want your business to thrive? So I'm going to let y'all know right now that it's so important to be spiritually aligned, because when you're ready to market to the bigger fish in the pond, you have to know how to be confident. And confident doesn't come from faking it. Like, you hear the term fake it till you make it. I don't do that. That's not my style of doing things. But I feel like confidence comes from believing in what you know. When you really believe in your business, when you've been doing this for a long time and you feel like, I'm ready to elevate. I'm at that point in my business where I have it aligned to where I can do it like this. It comes naturally to me at this point. That's when when you're tired of just doing the same thing, when you're ready to delegate things out to other people, when you're ready to go and make contracts. Now, your business is always going to start at a hustle, especially for people with small businesses. It starts feeling like a hustle, but then you got to get to the point to where you have to put in certain systems to where you become comfortable with delegating different tasks and doing things a different way and overseeing things instead of, running around and hustling all the time, which is okay too, for sure. Cause I did that for 7 years, baby. I hustled. I still hustle, but I feel like when you're elevating your business, it's important to say, you know what, it's that time where you feel confident enough to move to the next level. Some people don't even know that they have this. Some people don't know that right now you have power in your hands by having so many people that trust you to service them. I feel like a lot of times when people just look at it as a hustle, they don't understand that this is an impact that you can make to become a breadwinner and a person that's, garnishing all these opportunities by being able to be there, show up consistently. Like, don't think that you're a slave to the journey or what's going on in your business, because this is something where you make the terms. Don't think of it as, oh, I have to show up every day now and this and that and this and that. That's why I have to stress that you have to be ready for it, because you do have to consistently show up and you do have to build that skill to be able to be there and show up for these things. And it takes skill, it takes practice, it takes time. But just know that when you do this, you're making everything on your terms now. Now, this is when you go to the head person, you guys are going to sit down and negotiate terms that work for the both of you. And that works so well, because then that goes into your time. How much time you're available. Like, for me, when I make contracts, I'm like, look, it's all on the table, because I'm one of those people, I put my all into things. So it's not much that I can't do. So when we're making contracts, I know that I can ask for a lot because I can give a lot. So also it's important to know, like, what can I give and what can I give when I'm sitting down and I'm making these systems and I'm putting things in place in order to be able to fulfill this role of now doing contracts. It's a different ball game, and I'm also learning along with you guys. Like, it's a completely different ball game, and I'm learning that the most important thing for me was systems, and that's why I'm stressing the marketing system. I'm stressing the system of relationships, the system of not only having a relationship with your clientele, but maintaining a relationship with your clientele is so important. Example of something that I would do is I make sure that I remember my customers' birthdays. I understand the holidays. I understand the cultural context behind things. And I also want to speak on that too, because like I said in the last video, I touched on that when I did a mental health workshop. So those of you who know, I'm a psychology student at University of Michigan. I did a mental health workshop with people and friends upon. It's really important to also understand the cultural aspects of these relationships. So we got relationship and we got cultural. So with relationships, we touched on that a little bit, where you maintain these relationships by knowing their birthday, knowing if your client, do they have kids? Do they not have kids? What's their work schedule? Are they a client that's used to stopping? Like for example, I do transportation, so I know the clients, when they like to stop. What type of person are they? How long it takes them to do something? And I log all that in when I'm going into the negotiations, and I log that in when I'm going into like, how does my relationship stand with them, and how do I maintain my system to where it makes room for these human things. Like everybody's human at the end of the day. So I understand, like when I'm working with a certain type of client, that, when they're trusting me to work with their clients or do transportation for them at a larger scale, I understand that it's certain things to where I know it come with people at this point. Like I know if this person have kids, it may take them longer to get out the house. And that's just me, taking that into consideration, so that when I book my next ride, I know like, what, I might need an extra 5 minutes. But also I do include that in the price too, because I know these things now. So I do take a lot of stuff into consideration. The freaking weather, you take that into consideration. Is this a sports fan? Take that. Like I am so calculated when it comes to this stuff. When it comes to how you take note of the people that you're servicing and the people you're doing business with and your clients. So when you're going into a bigger contract, make sure that you understand the company to a T, so you can understand what it comes with. Make sure you're asking questions and taking things into consideration that are important, so that when you build your system, you understand what all do you need in order to thrive. Because when you do bigger contracts, it does come with, people say more stress, but I like it. I love it, but I understand that it can be stressful. So understand, like, if you do need a team, if you do need backup, understand the difference and know the ins and outs of the company. Understand your projected time, because then you can map everything out. And this also comes with doing it too, because as you're doing it, don't be afraid to update your system. And that's what I'm learning right now too. Like, do not be afraid to update your system. For example, I do transportation. I cannot have my phone in my hand when I'm servicing older people. And I understand that. And make sure that you're spending time and energy into learning things that can help your business run more smoothly, because that also reflects on how much you charge, your price point, and how much you show your customer and the people that you're doing contracts with that you're willing to show up and show out. That's what we do, because I promise you, it keeps long-term relationships. When you're doing this, try out different systems. And I know sometimes it may be weird, because you might be like, oh man, now I have to send my customer a whole nother sign up, or a whole nother system for them to learn or do. But it's also a learning process for you, because the more that you do this and that you're not afraid to change your system, the more it will work for your customer. Because Walmart still doesn't take Apple Pay. That's crazy. Like, this is one of the biggest stores. They are probably missing out on so much money. Like, I understand they have a previous contract with another company, but even if they have to add on or if they have to subtract and it costs them money, I'm telling y'all, it makes a big difference, because at the end of the day, your customer is going to be able to look and say, wow, they have it all figured out. Automatic receipt, automatic transaction, automatic, where these systems are not here to hinder you. They're here to help you, And I understand that a lot of traditional people do get wrapped up in that, because I felt like that, when I was younger, I used to be like, what, it takes a lot, because you have to sit down and make these transitions, and it's also for you too. So don't ever think of technology as being against you. Don't be afraid to update your system. Hey, just keeping everything updated. The world is not going to end if you have to spend money in order to update your systems, because then you can give more value to your client in return, and in return you make more money because you're giving that value. And that's something that I feel like is really important to continue to update and upgrade. When I say iPhone sent me like 10 upgrades in the past week, and I love them, and it's so weird, because the old me, I would have, I'm not gonna keep on updating it because it takes 2 hours, blah 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 blah. But I learned that this stuff actually works for the betterment of the the person you're doing a contract with and the customer, and you always make sure that you let them know as well. And I will say that it is different when you're doing it with people with contracts, because there may be some pushback, but when they see that, hey, this also works in my favor and it's a win-win for everybody, that's what I go for. I always go for win-wins. I want it to work in the favor of everybody involved, including the customer, because we also have another part of companies where some companies, they do a win-win for the people in business, but they're a company that's like so needed. Because in transportation, I know that I'm needed. I know that I've needed a ride before, and I called an Uber and his car was about to break down, and I couldn't say nothing because I needed him, but I'm not like that. I'm not that type of person. And in return, I reap the rewards and the benefits of me saying, you know what, I'm going to update this for my clients. Before I go to pick anybody up, I'm cleaning my car out. I'm spraying my car down. I'm making sure that they feel comfortable, turning on heated seats. I just go the extra mile because I know that people remember that. So now I could see one of my clients years from now and they'll be like, oh my gosh, I remember you. Like, I had such a great experience, because people never forget that. And a lot of it is spirit, but then your systems also go into it too, because your systems allow you to do this with less stress. Now, initially, it may be harder to learn those systems because, boy, it's a lot. Sometimes you get way more positive feedback later because you actually implemented these things in these systems, and people notice. Don't ever think that they don't. And let these things work for us. Don't forget about them. Don't ever disregard them, because I think that a lot of traditional businesses, sometimes we do get caught up in like, oh, I've been doing this for this amount of time, I know what to do. And that doesn't always work for the betterment of us, because look at Blockbuster. If they would have caught on to the internet before it happened, they still would be in business. But instead, they continue to do things the traditional way. And even though there are those customers that may feel like, you know what, I love the nostalgia of this business, this is something I grew up doing, it's not that many people like that, and you do. And I will say older clients are very they are very freaking loyal. Older clients are very loyal, but that's because they don't like change. It's not because, it's honestly not even, it's not only not as lucrative for you, but it's also, it doesn't really work in their favor. Because, for example, I'll do rides for older clients and they'll be like, oh, we don't need no GPS, I'll tell you how to get there. And then I'm wasting 10 extra minutes because, I'm doing stuff the traditional route. And I just want this to be a breakdown for everybody to understand that it's okay to implement different systems for the betterment of your business. It's okay to take that time out to say, you know what, let me learn this different thing. Maybe you might have to pay that 3%. Maybe you might have to, pay a little bit of extra money, but I promise you in return, like it's exponential growth. You're going to shoot up because now you have different systems handling things that before you would have had to take the time, make a whole invoice, make a whole receipt. But now you have a whole nother entity doing that for you. It's a whole robot. Like now we have Square, we have booking sites, we have websites, we have different things to where they book. I just get an email and I'm good. That's about it. And everybody's good, and you get those things to where you can, if you have a service-based business, you can have automatic texting out where it's like it's middleman and everything for you, to where you two connect here. And this is where, you guys meet. You meet in the middle where this, even though the robot is sending it out, your client is looking at it like, oh my God, they remember to send me a confirmation text. That's so cool. So I know for sure that this is going on. And y'all, this is so important to me because when I do marketing, I understand how people's minds work. So people can see something and be like, wow, you're a great marketer. I love that information you put out there. It touched my heart. But if you don't continue to put that in their face, they're not going to remember it. They're not going to remember it. And it's so important that, that we continue to, as entrepreneurs, to grow. We have to grow in every avenue. Like as artists, creatives, entrepreneurs, we have to grow. Try out different things. See what works for you. Because I see so many people who have a great idea, but they get stuck in these old systems and old mindsets that are outdated, and it just doesn't work anymore. Like in real estate, it's called functional obsolescence, where it's like, yeah, it works, but it's not really for the betterment. It doesn't really make sense anymore. It's like doing transportation, and if I just pull out a map, like what? Like, or you get in the Uber and Lyft and they pull out a map. It's like, or if I pull up on a horse, like, come on now, would you want your Uber to pull up on a horse? Like, just for example, stuff like that, where You have to take the system that you have and break them down and understand them to a T, the same way that we break down our relationships, the same way that we break down things that we see visually and spiritually that can work for us. Also take the time to do that and use technology that's going to work for you, because if you can't afford to hire people right now, you have free technology that's willing to work for you all across the internet that's easily accessible. Take advantage of that, y'all. And that's what I wanted to say, just to break down the analytical aspect of marketing. It costs nothing to put stuff on social media. It costs nothing to put this in people's faces. Like, let them know who you are now. Like, don't wait. Don't overthink it. Don't try to look at it from a point of view of, oh, people are going to laugh at me or people are going to think this and that. Go for it. I'm here to validate you right now and let you know that the people that are watching are for your best interest. Trust me. It's the Bagg Lady, and I'll be talking to y'all on the next video.